We're getting close to moving. Servers, that is. Hey there, this is Tom, Tom's Tech Show. And today we're going to be talking about moving. We're going to move servers to a co-location facility. I've done this several times. I think this might be number 8. And it's kind of quite an arduous task. But if you break it down, it gets to be pretty straightforward, getting the servers moved, racked, moving systems and everything else. But one thing that the head of companies want to see is kind of a breakdown. What's going on? What's happening? What's our changing costs? What things are going on? So what I typically do is I will break down everything and make kind of a move summary, like an executive summary kind of thing that will allow the uppity-ups, the owner of the company, the CFO, CTO, they don't want to know what exact servers you're moving. They don't want to know what exact things they're doing. They just want to know, okay, what are the costs? What's the timeline? What are we saving? What's the difference? What are we gaining? By this kind of thing. So I have my preliminary document that I've set up. So this is a move from California offices to Colo. So I started off with a definition, and so reading here says this plan is to define scope and process of moving systems from California offices to co-location data center, which this one we're actually picking is in the company that we use. I've been working with for 30 years, and they have data centers across the United States. The one we're picking is in Kansas City, Kansas. So it's kind of middle of the country. Our personnel are strewn across the United States, so it makes sense to kind of be in the middle. There are some people that are close to their stuff. So battery backup systems are needing to be replaced and maintained right now. Natural move at this point is to relocate the servers to highly redundant co-location data centers in Kansas City near personnel. So these are, I've got some actual pricing. This is March 8th, so there's some actual pricing that I'm getting. So we're going to get a half rack space, and it has redundant power. So we get 2 channels. We get an A and B side for electrical power. We're getting 300 up and 300 down speed, and there's a setup fee. So it's $1,200 for a setup fee, and so $1,495 recurring costs. What we're doing is, and kind of how I recommend, we have like legacy hardware. We have some hardware that's really old. So we're going to buy some new hardware. So this ends up being a difference between CapEx and OpEx. So CapEx, capital expenditure, OpEx, operational expenditure, operating expenses. So CapEx is a one-time thing. You just have to put this money out once, and then you own it. You can lease servers. I've seen that done as well. That moves it from capital expense to operational expense. You can do that. I think we're just going to buy them because it's not going to take too long after we move everything to the co-location facility that we're just gaining our money back by not being in the office. So a couple of servers, Dell servers. This is right here is 128 gigs of RAM each. I may double that and have it be 256 because we're going to be consolidating a bunch of different servers that are old. We have some servers that are like 10 plus years old, and that I don't need things failing. They're going to be moving across several states. I don't need things jostled and banged around and potential failures there. So then we need VMware licenses. Boom. I'm getting to store the data and run everything. I'm using a Synology NAS. I've had pretty good luck with these things. They work really well for some small VMware infrastructure that we're setting up. And cost-wise, they're really pretty good to be able to use them. Has 4 gigabit Ethernet ports on the back, so you can trunk those, be able to hook them up, and run a couple of servers off of them. Some are APC switch PDUs. So these are intelligent PDUs that allow you to address and turn off individual ports on the PDU. That allows you to turn off a server, turn it back on if something gets stuck, whatever. You have some control over that. So that's kind of the new hardware that we're going to be putting in. Then I kind of go over just a general process. So we have a couple of Netgear switches for networking already purchased and already available. So we need to finalize all our costs for equipment that we need. I need to set up and design. We really need an architecture design for the new network, how this is going to lay out. It may not be the same as the old network. I mean, take this time. If you're moving things to a colo, take this time to really reevaluate your network and build in as much security as possible, right? Things that you can do are there. You can separate, corporate resources from maybe lab resources, development resources, things like that, so that you have some like physical firewalls between, different components and different areas of the company for security. Okay, so then we get to order equipment. Then I'm going to pre-configure, since the network switches are here where I am, I'm going to pre-configure those, get those boxed up and ready to send. We're going to work remotely with other employees that we have and people that we have in the Kansas City area to be able to get hardware mounted, get things up to where I can connect and remotely manage everything else. We need to schedule a rental truck for moving. This is the hard part because we're coming out of California, and rental trucks in California are 3 times the cost of rental trucks coming into California. I've done this. We're moving to, Florida. If you rent a truck from Florida to California, I think it was like $1,500. If you rent a truck from California to Florida, it's $6,000. So I saw a thing the other day that said, no, people aren't leaving California. Well, don't try and rent a truck going out of California, because that would say otherwise. All right. So once we get everything set up for remote access and I can get in and start working on things, we are going to do some kind of a critical systems are going to be like a data migration. So we'll have a copy of, Active Directory on both sides so that we can switch the Active Directory servers over for primary and master, be able to do that. So we have authentication on both sides, and then we'll move over some of the other servers and then make a switch from one to the other and be able to bring those up. There are some services, of course, that you need, certain web services, certain development services, that you need that are running your company that you need to not have them be down, so those are some key things that we need to be able to do. And that's why we're buying servers, putting some servers there initially, and then migrating some systems over there to these new servers. And then later, things that aren't quite so critical, that we don't really need right away when we move, then we're going to throw those on the truck and drive them over there. There will be a backup already sent to Kansas City, to the area. So that's the other thing you have to worry about, of course, is as things get jostled and jumbled in the back of a truck, what kind of hardware failures are going to have, what things aren't going to spin up once you get there. So you need to plan for that. Definitely have a DR kind of planned on your way there. And I have to add this to this plan, that we have a DR in case something fails on the way over there. Like I said, this is kind of a preliminary thing. I'm continually building this, but those are some things that we need to add to it. Pack up, of course, we get down to pack up everything, move it over, bring everything up, and shut everything down in the California office, erase all the drives, and then contract with the local waste management, environmental management, they call themselves. Anyway, contract with them to, e-waste all of the old systems. So what's changing? This is something that they, corporate people want to know. So the co-location services are going to be an ongoing $14.95 a month. We're using Cisco Meraki for our routing and connectivity. So that support is going to be $3,000 every 3 years. We're getting 1, 2, 3 hardware devices and at least one virtual device that we're going to be hosting up in the cloud. So currently we're paying $1,180 per year for one device, and that device is going away. So $3,000 every 3 years for basically 4 devices. That's pretty good, cost savings there for that. We are going to add on another $1,200 per year for the VMware licenses. So that adds to our current $5,600 that we pay. Services that would be going away. We do have some pretty high AC costs in our current California office. So those are going to be going away. We spend about $1,000 a year just in batteries, replacing batteries in the lab as they die. So that is going to be going away. And then our internet costs that we pay here, about $400 a month. I think we have $500 up and down fiber. So that's going to be going away as well. So this doesn't even include the closing of the office space. So that closing of the office space, I think, is $6,000 or $7,000 a month for the office space. So that's going to be going away. So that is even going to save even more money over on this. So within a short amount of time, so we're dropping probably with the office space, we're dropping probably $10,000 a month down, and we're only adding that's $2,500. $2,600, but these are per year, and some of these other ones are per month. So we're really at not adding too much back. So we're going to be saving what, I don't know, I don't have the calculator up to do this. So 3,000, that's what, $100 a month. That's like $10 a month. So we're under 2,000 for our monthly operating expenses. Where here we were probably $6,000-$7,000 operating expenses. So that's going to be quite a big savings and quite a big turnaround, which is why we're doing this. And if you've got data that's in your office, you got servers that's in your office, this is a good idea right now to go and do it and move. Even if you move the servers to a local, you've got an office that you're minimizing, right? You're closing down things. Even if you're doing that, maybe closing a couple of offices and you've got computers and servers in there, move them out. It saves you on battery time, saves you on, your data connection, saves you on, your AC costs that you have in there. That's electrical power that you're paying for and all that. So that's really one of the big drivers and no one's going to be here near the systems anymore. So a couple of drivers there. Cost is one of the big ones. So yeah. So if you just kind of write it out like that, like this for, kind of the executives, they kind of get, oh, this is what we're going to be paying now. This is what we were paying then. So now we're doing better. We're saving money. We're cutting costs. And that way it makes it easier for them to go say, we need to spend, $25,000 on servers and some new hardware, but we're going to be saving, $6,000 a month. So within 4 months, right, you're going to break even, and then you're going to be saving money in the long run. All right. So that's my job for the next couple of months as we are moving many things, moving servers and moving ourselves and everything else. So it's going to be crazy trying to get all this stuff done, but we're working at it. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Subscribers keep going up. Thank you so much. I keep making content, and everybody seems to keep liking it, and I appreciate that. And just thanks everybody for subscribing. Take care.